Well, I think for I think everybody needs to understand that SATs are designed to be a measure of schools, but in reality, the system leads to 10 and 11-year-olds shouldering the burden of their school's performance. And that means that all through school, and in year 6 in particular, children are crammed and practice exam papers and inevitably feel a lot of pressure because of that. And for children with SEND, all those negative effects and other disadvantages can be really, really devastating.
I guess, I have a lot of sympathy with the fact that we're, testing our kids such a lot at such a young age, and the pressure that it puts on them, and also the way it kind of distorts the education system as well, because teachers have to teach for these tests rather than just teaching kids a love of learning. I guess my question is, isn't this true of all children, not just those with special needs?
Absolutely correct. You couldn't have put it better. SATs damage all children. They damage the education of all children. They stop the thriving of all children. But what we're saying today is that they damage children with SEND the most. And, frankly, we have given the DFE so much evidence from so many parents, with and without SEND, from head teachers who teach children with and without SEND about the damaging effects of SATs and all the other tests. Our children are some of the most tested in the world. That's narrowing the curriculum, that's embedding a sense of failure for 40% of our children at an early age. That's 76% of children with SEND. And they just don't listen. They don't listen to the evidence. They don't listen to the facts. So what we're doing today is making a hugely emotional plea from families that are genuinely, absolutely devastated. These are families that fight to get their children into school because school damages their children so much. These are families that sometimes have to stop working because their children are so distressed by what's happening. So it's a wrecking ball.
Can I say that, I guess, just to put the kind of counter sort of point to it, is it important to have this regular testing? Firstly, it is good for schools to, be called up and see their progress as well, but also so they can identify kids who need extra support.
We absolutely believe that there is a role for assessment in schools, but assessment should be there, focus, and it should centre children's love of learning and support for children, and it should centre children's well-being. The DFE will argue till it's blue in the face that these tests are there to identify children who need extra support. These tests happen at the end of primary school. The children have been put through years of cramming for tests and being prepared for tests. It's not, these tests are there because the DFE lacks the imagination to think of a better way to assess and measure schools. But as parents, we know that teachers can give us the best information about our children, that very detailed personal information and personalised information. Teachers know what our children need at school, and what they don't need are these one-size-fits-all tests that are simply not fit for purpose.
Do we still ultimately need the exams to be the final judge, however often they're administered, but they're still needed, or do you disagree with that?
I disagree with exams for children aged 10 and 11. These are exams that talk about fractional equations and ratios and proportions, that talk about fronted adverbials and substantive clauses. We've sat MPs through these tests and they can't pass them. Most adults, you and I, would not be able to pass them. We can sit here in a studio and you've got your jobs and I've got mine, and we can have a good conversation. We can't pass those tests. It's incredible that we think it's doing anything good and proving anything good about our education system or doing anything good for our children, that we put them through tests that teach them these sorts of things. So we're not against assessment. There is a role for assessment. It should centre children's love of learning and well-being.